All right, and Cortex, that usual start, he always got the start with the Raichu, and then it doesn't look like you do the self proc much with your team, do you, Zordor?
No, no. I'm not big on using weakness policy in general.
Okay.
I was using it on Metagross up until like 5 minutes before Marcos and I's battle. I wanted to try the assault vest, which it didn't really come into play in our game,
Right.
but um, I did think it was interesting to try. You know what, the weakness policy may have actually helped a little bit there because he would have procced it with his pyro ball, and then I probably would have been able to take a huge amount of damage on that last year. But yeah, it's just how it is.
Yep, it's
So
Pokemon for you.
it is interesting that he's going for that Raichu Moltres. I do think that that's a really good lead. I myself really appreciate the Raichu Moltres lead. But so it looks like he's switching in here for the Tapu Fini. Just going to try to stop, I guess, some of that spore from the Amoonguss.
Ugh.
And it does put him in a decent position against this Stack Attacker who's. Oh, okay. So we do see Fake Out come out here. It's going to go off before the Rage Powder. So that's pretty good. Um, just to stop the stack from setting up Trick Room right away.
It looks like he's Volt switching to get out really quick and set up for something else.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good move there. You can see he can switch out and go into maybe another Pokemon that's going to help him out a little bit more against this Amoonguss. Just because that Tapu Fini doesn't really put a whole lot of pressure on being able to take the Amoonguss out. But at the same time, the Stack Attacker now, it still wants to set that Trick Room up. So he essentially could get off like a free boost with the Tapu Fini, or try to call maybe that he was going to go for something other than Rage Powder.
Calm mind. Oh no. Love to see it.
Yep. So it is kind of interesting because he does have the Landorus and the Galarian Moltres. So both of those are sitting above the Misty Terrain, which means that the Amoonguss will actually come back into play here with Spore
Interesting.
against the Landorus, unless it has like a Lumberry or safety goggles or something like that.
It's looking like the Landers is vested. So, and his Raichu's been focus sash. It doesn't look he's made too many adjustments from last night's team. This looks like it's the same kind of
So
squad
we
he's
do
from.
see that he's. Oh, okay. We do see he's
Trick rooming, right?
gonna try to put the Landorus out, probably back into the Raichu, baiting out like a Spore. And he's going for another Calm Mind, which I do think might be just a little greedy here, because
Yeah.
the Stack Attacker does still pressure this Tapu Fini for a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, he's
We
not.
saw in my game where they had the Helping Hand and Max Steel Spike into Tapu Fini, and I had Reflect Up, and it still almost KO'd me.
Right. It's gonna hurt the Feeny pretty good here. Oh, he might.
I think. Go ahead.
I think that's the 3 hits. I mean, he might live for 3 turns here.
You think the Tapu Fini's going to be able to take
No, not anymore. Nah, he went the double hit.
it? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So I kind of see what they did there. They did get the Intimidate off. So, maybe we can assume that this is potentially a old Tapu Fini. We did see quite a bit of damage come off from the Giga Drain. So it
Yes.
might not be as invested in special defense
Oh,
because it did already have a Calm Mind boost. It took that kind of damage.
and it did take that spike, max spike, pretty well, right?
Yeah. Now,
Hey,
it is important to note it is still above the. I'm assuming this is a pinch berry like the Aguav or Wiki berry, and that didn't proc, but it is probably still within range of a max steel spike here from the Stack Attacker. Stack Attacker also here could go for something like a max quake into the Raichu, which I think would be really smart.
Oh, is she protected, right? Obviously, right? Yep. There's the protect there.
Yep. So
There's
probably
the berry.
protecting, hoping that they attack into the Tapu Fini here, so that the berry will end up getting procced.
You're exactly right. And we're gonna see the Volt switch from Raichu to switch out again, maybe to proc another fake out late game, or bring in Landers to do some more, wear out some more damage, or absorb some of that more damage. He has not maxed yet, right?
He is not maxed. So I do think though that it is interesting that all right, so he's gonna get another Intimidate. He's cycling those Intimidates right now.
Right.
But I do think that it's kind of interesting that he went for the Giga Drain into the Raichu.
Yeah.
It was kind of smart because if he didn't protect the Tapu Fini, then he would have gone down to the max Rockfall anyway. But it was kind of smart, I think, on his part to go for that Giga Drain, just get a little bit of extra chip damage onto the Raichu.
Hey Date, hey Hexbugs, how you doing, man? Welcome in, guys. Microbot, thanks for coming in, man. I am tired. I swear I haven't saw it. No. I hope you're doing. I hope you're feeling better. How's it been for? Well, I'm glad you're in here now. PZ, I got a Feeny Den for you. Please.
Yeah, so it really what it comes down to is if he wants to call that he's going to go for the Spore, or and take advantage with the Landers, or if.
What did he calm mine 3 times, or was that just twice? It seems so greedy. Oh my gosh. Alright, we're going to see Feeny go down here for sure from another Giga Drain.
Yep. So he had Calm Minded twice. But we did see, even after one Calm Mind boost, that he still did a fair amount of damage with the Giga Drain. So definitely should be able to pick it up here on the Tapu Fini. Yep.
Moltres. I think we're going to see a Dynamax Moltres coming up. And maybe here's come the soft proc, like I think you just said. Right?
Yep, and I do think that that's a really smart move here. So
setting it up for the end.
He's cycled the Intimidate onto the Stack Attacker. We saw that it wasn't able to get that Beast Boost against the Tapu Fini because the Amoonguss attacked it. But then also, he's just wearing out those Trick Room turns. We know that the Stack Attacker is out of Dynamax now, and so now he's just kind of free to kind of do it at his own pace. Once the Trick Room goes down, he can now put some pressure on things like the Amoonguss. He can put pressure on the Stack Attacker with both the Weakness Policy and we see he has Nasty Plot also. So at -2, Stack Attacker might actually just not do a whole lot of damage here to the Moltres, but also he does still have that fake out, so he could still fake out the Amoonguss to stop a potential Spore, which is what it looks like he's doing. Or I was going to say he could try to stop that Stack Attacker, but I think what he's doing here is really good. He has the Weakness Policy. He has him at -2, and so this is going to allow it to proc that Weakness Policy.
Yeah, going for the fake out. Good play, I guess. I mean, he didn't, instead of going that route, he's going to stall the Among Us and maybe be able to kill him next turn instead of risking being put to sleep on this side. So now maybe this turn he might be thinking about Volt switching.
Yeah.
But yeah, both the Galarian Moltres, I still believe. I mean, that's why I want to kind of maybe have a tournament tonight. I want to get in some action, man. I mean, are you gonna play in the VGC or the Victory Road this weekend, Zordor? You got time?
I might have time. I might not. We'll see. I have to check what time it is.
Mopped! What's up, Mopped? Welcome in, man. Me and Zordo are watching the finals of our Nino Pokebros tournament, and we're seeing this hot action. Kortex was runner-up last night. I think he's hoping to get a win. And the Rage Powder! Because Rage Powder. And there it is. I don't think he... I mean, of course he's going to Rage Powder, right, Zordor?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You keep some damage off of that stack attacker. You know, even though we do see the weakness policy, this will allow him to at least try to chip it down a little bit. But again, we're starting to see that Landorus cycling the Intimidates.
More.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
That Kortex has done really well is that he's cycled those Intimidates, and his opponents just kind of left his Pokemon on the field maybe just a few turns too long.
Man, I've heard not to use this Landorus like an Incineroar, and it seems that Kortex is doing just that. He's going U-turn, he's intimidating, he's U-turn, he's Volt switching. I mean, has he used an attack move with this Landorus yet? Besides U-turning.
No, I don't think I've seen an attack move yet. So this is kind of important here, is that him just cycling those Intimidates, I think, has actually been one of the biggest parts of him being able to survive in the game. He kind of was passive through the Trick Room early, but now he's got up to speed a little bit, and now he's going to probably start steamrolling just a little bit with his own potential here.
It's looking pretty
So it is interesting. The stack attacker, while it is low on attack, still hasn't taken a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, right.
This Venusaur is out here. Potentially, he could have the Torque Hole in the back. He could turn this into a fast mode.
That's a good point.
And there's a really good chance that he could go for that fast Sleep Powder here into the Moltres just to shut it down.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So he's gonna cover by, I guess, doing the Airstream Earthquake.
And I think Earthquake's really smart. You do it next to Moltres, it's not going to do any damage. But, you know, because the Venusaur's not going to be maxed, potentially a Torque Hole switching in here, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So we do see the Gyro Ball come off. You know, of course, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage with it being lowered. And
the Gyro Ball's coming off because we're in Trick Room, right? So that's why, I mean, maybe he's not bringing in the Torkoal yet.
Could be. We did see Leaf Storm come off here. So he is going to be that lower special attack. We do see that he gets some of the attack back here with that weakness policy on the stack attack. But because of that speed here, he's putting on to the Venusaur. It is going to allow him to be faster than basically anything that would come in outside of the Trick Room.
And we still got 3 more Trick Room yet. That was set 2 turns ago.
Yep. So something interesting to note here in this generation that some people may have overlooked too, with Stack Attack having the weakness policy, is that it doesn't just get Max Quake to increase its special defense. It is a rock type, and so one of the benefits of being a rock type is it can set its own sand with Max Rockfall, and that'll multiply its special defense by 1.5.
Oh, and that's kind of why I think, was that kind of what Marcos was talking about when he was actually +3? Or times 3?
No, that was actually, he had an Assault Vest.
Oh, so that's what he meant. Okay, I got you now.
So we see that there's still 3 turns left here in the Trick Room. Both of Kortex's Landorus and Moltres are going to be faster here. And we do have that Stack Attacker, which has now got its weakness policy proc and is set up to deal quite a bit of damage here with maybe a potential Rock Slide. Plus he has his own Landorus who's lowered the attack of the opposing Landorus. So, I mean, Kortex is now kind of in an awkward position because he is still here in that Trick Room. He was able to kind of passively go through the first Trick Room, but you know, he just wasn't able to capitalize quite as much as he wanted to, I don't think. And that's why that Rage Powder out of the Amoonguss was so huge in allowing him to set up that second Trick Room.
It's crazy, man. When you get up a second trick room, that's kind of scary. I mean, the first one, okay, I can deal with it, but then you get up another one. Ah,
Yeah, and you know what? That's how it's always been for me. Is like people ask me, how does your team deal with trick room? So a lot of times, I kind of let the trick room go up the first
yeah,
time.
deal with it.
Well, and I can usually deal with it, but usually all my resources are used up
By the time.
if there's a second trick room, and so that's the tough thing is that balance between. Well, I don't want to be too passive because then they could set a second one up, and being too aggressive where you're coming in trying to stop that trick room.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
And then they switch out that one Pokemon that you thought was going to set the trick room, and they just start rolling.
And it throws you off. Makes sense. That's why I play 2 to 3 fast and 3 to 4 slow. The turns, right?
That's why late Series 5.
That's what Gab said.
Venusaur Dusclops lead was just huge because they could switch the Dusclops out for Torkoal.
Yes. So versatile. It was interesting.
Yeah. They could sleep powder, or they could switch the Venusaur out potentially and already have that Torkoal set up in the trick room. They have so many options.
And that should take out some Mons there. Moltres lives, but I don't see him KO these 2 Mons. It's faster than the other Landers, so... There's the Berserk. And weakness policy.
Berserk and at +2, so he's going to be a +3 here. Fiery Wrath could be a really good potential.
No way!
A Rock Slide with Landorus.
It's going to miss. What? Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Holy smoke.
That's why, he went for the Rock Slide. I get why he went for the double Rock Slide.
That's Pokemon.
Just in case one of them missed already.
Everyone, chat's going nuts. That was close.
When you do that, you're not always going to be able to get it.
Oh man, hit that clip button so I don't forget this moment, guys. That was massive. That was on the agency. Enough about the agency. Get out of here.
So I think it's important to look at that game.
Hashtag mopped. Yeah.
So he went for the Rock Slide, right?
Greedy, right?
For the second Rock Slide with the Landorus, and the reason why is what was the opposing Landorus doing?
Right.
What was it doing? I mean, it's like 11 HP. It's just chilling, and it's at -1 attack. I mean, I think you really needed to focus on taking that Galarian Moltres out.
Man, and if he would have just hit that, the other Mon would have done nothing, and he could just cleaned it up last turn. Killing Moltres was more important. Oh man, hate to see it, Chris. Come on, Chris, pull it back. Learn from your mistake there. I mean, what do you think happens in that situation? You just feel like it's an easy button click, and you just realize, man, maybe I should have really thought about that last turn.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. That's a big thing now with the new Series 7 rules. We are going to the 45-second turn timer.
Yeah, so that's what Gav was mentioning to us.
Some people up a little bit,
and it goes to a max time of 20 minutes too, or is it changing the max time too?
I think they might have gone down to a 15-minute. I can't remember.
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right, Tundra.
But the 45-second turn timer, I think, is really important because there are definitely some people, especially streamers, who love to come down to that last couple of seconds.
Hey now.
Hey, I didn't call nobody out.
I love it. That's going to be so great. I'm going to have an extra, what? How much seconds? 5? How much extra time is it?
What's that?
Is it extra time or less extra time?
15 seconds left.
Wow, man. Well, I mean, that's going to make you play a little better. Or make me play a little better. You should have those moves. You should know what you're doing before your turn even starts. Right, Zordor?
Yep.
I mean, even your next turn, it's like as the turn's coming, you're like, okay, I'm going to press this. And it should be click, click, maybe a few seconds to think. But the timer stalled me. Angry. All right, let's see. Kortex, man, he was leading in the beginning, kind of lost his pace. The mixed rock slide came through him, so I think Kortex is looking pretty strong here. He's kind of seen what all his opponent can do. He knows all what he can't do. I see Kortex in a strong position here, and he's bringing the horse again.
I do think that while we look at this past game, so I think Kortex was pretty much in the driver's seat after he was able to stop that first trick room. But it does just show to Chris that he can, even though he did miss that rock slide, that he can actually take this set. If he just maybe makes a few adjustments, he plays a little bit smarter. I do think that Rage Powder from Amoongus was a huge play for him. Yep, so we're going to see the lead of the Amoongus and the Stack Attack come out here.
Oh, man.
And I do think that's really important to see here, that he's going with that same lead. He's comfortable with that lead. He wants to set up that trick room. But we do see that Kortex has kind of responded. He's kind of said, okay, well, if you want to lead that, that's fine. But I'm going to bring Landorus, who, puts a whole lot of pressure on this. He's got the Intimidate pressure. He's got the ground type attack with the Earthquake. And here, it might just be that Kortex can just pressure him out with offense. We'll just have to see.
Exactly. I mean, like the good old, right? Wait out the trick room and then just don't let him get it up again. Come on. Because you're not going to be able to stop it this turn. Unless you get the rock slide, right?
It will be interesting to see how Chris adjusts here. So we do see the Rage Powder come out.
Of course. Oh, he went
interesting because, we do know the Landorus has that Earthquake.
What?
Multi-target move.
He just one-hit KO'd the Static Hat. I don't know if he expected to do that or what. This is interesting. Oh, wow. What a great turn for Kortex.
Yep, and so that's exactly what he did. He just came in with offense on that first turn, put a whole lot of pressure. He lowered that Stack Attack as attack.
What do you think Chris was thinking? A rock slide? I mean, come on. Didn't expect the Earthquake was going to kill? He should have brought in that switch that turn. He should have switched in Landorus there.
I think that would have been a really ideal turn for him to go for that Landorus switch. You lower the opposing Landorus, their attack stat, and then you can get off a free Spore into that Moltres or into that Landorus there.
Right. Stuffed ran into me, and it was a shiny. Oh, sweet, LX. Sweet, Alexi. Dead Static Hat.
That means you got to use it. You got to use the Stuffle.
Oh.
I had what's the pre-evolution of Zarina? Bond Sweet. I had that square shiny Bond.
That
Sweet.
ran into you, right?
Yeah, ran into me the day before the May International Challenge.
You don't have a shiny charm either, do you?
I didn't have a shiny charm.
Oh my gosh.
And it was hilarious because I had only battled I think it was 2 of them. And I got a square shiny, it just ran into me. And I'm like, I gotta use it.
The RNG luck is here. My whole.
But, hey, Serena didn't let me down in that IC either. That was.
No, I heard it did pretty well. I remember seeing it do well too.
So it is interesting that he goes for the rock slide. He is going to get some damage off, but it does proc that weakness policy here on the Moltres.
And this is going to kill, even with the berry.
Huge damage. Even with the Koba berry, this is easily going to take this Amoongus.
Even without the buff, I think he would have been pretty good.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that Amoongus was fairly low.
So, man, this is... Oh, Kortex. What a great position you're in now. Okay, I mean, he got rid of the Among Us. He hasn't maxed yet. So, let's see what happened here. What's that pile of bricks? I've never seen that. Well, you should have watched Zordor's match. You would have seen it. It maxed last game too, didn't it? But it maxed in Zordor's game too. He's built like a stack of bricks. Loving the music though. Alright, what's his last mon over here? The Torkoal with no trick room up. It's rush.
Yeah, no trick room here for the Torkoal, and we're starting to see that cycling of Intimidate again because he's taking the Amoonguss and the stack attack out. This does really pressure here his opponent because now they have to max that, that -1 Landorus potentially. Yep, which is what they do. And they can't switch out because they've lost those first 2 Pokemon, and now he can just sit there and cycle Intimidates for the rest of the game.
There it is. Oh,
The +2 max airstream here just gonna tear up.
so he's hoping to KO this bird, which is gonna be close. I mean, I don't know. It should be a KO here. No, come on, get through it. Right, oh, this always happens right at the clutch moments.
Well, see, at -1 here though, I doubt it's going to do quite enough damage even after the sand.
Oh, you're right. It's -1. Thank you, Zordar, for pointing that out. So no, it's not. Now he's going to proc the Berserk, and wow, here we go.
Yeah. So now Moltres is at +3. Yeah, and I think the game is just kind of over here.
Kortex came back hard, Zordar. He was mad about his misclick. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the story. We were in his game 2. He was getting ready to proc his weakness pulse with Vultures. Misclicked, nuzzled his Moltres, and his Moltres was just undersped the whole game, and it totally wrapped him underneath, and it threw him off. Lost his game 3. I think he's here to claim his belt from last night. And there we go.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
But GG's, there we go. Giving us a clean 2-0 set. Maximum Zebra, welcome. You're just catching the end of our set here. But congrats to Kortex. Let's see if we can
Kortex there.
Let's see if we can bring him on. We'll chat with him a little bit because I wanted to bring on our other contender too, but I wasn't able to communicate with him. But let's see if we can bring him on real quick before we end the stream here. Let's see. Oh, he wants to jump in. Let's go. All right, I'm going to bring in our winner right now, Zord. Let's talk to him, talk about that team, and then we'll go ahead and call it. Let's get him in here, though. I'll have him pull his team up. Nate, is that you? Hey, man. Welcome on in, dude. Great set. I was just telling Zordor that Kortex, or Nate, is that if I call you Nate?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, Nate, I was just gonna say you're coming back for that revenge from last night from that misclick, and man, just coming hard, retaking that misclick from last night. It was a strong set. Those 2-0 for us.
Yeah,
man.
that was the idea. Yeah, I brought the same team. I just swapped in Dusclops for Cresselia because I figured Haze would be better with a lot of Intimidate for the Glastrier.
And that's interesting because I was wondering if you brought the exact same team. You did swap out your Dusclops for your Cress.
I did, yeah.
And then how did the other rounds go? Did you see anything else interesting? I mean, 5-0 last night. Did you drop any sets today?
It actually went pretty well today. Like yesterday, a lot of my sets were just super smooth. Just a lot of 2-0s. I think I only had 1 or 2 2-1s.
Man, so this team's pretty good. And I mean, the what do you think? I think the self proc I really like because I used to play a team that Zorda put together for me, which was a Togekiss, Crit Kiss, self proc with Raichu. and it's reminding me of that so much. And it's so buff with the berserk. You know, I mean, when you take a hit, you come back tenfold, and with the the max airstreams, just coming so fast. But yeah, man, I like to see it.
Yeah, I think Moltres is just it's a really good mon in this format. It's just so bulky because Raichu supports it really well. It's got that Eerie Impulse to lower special attackers, and then you just have Landorus to lower physical attackers. So with that, Moltres takes pretty much anything, even like like a Life Orb Glastrier Hailstorm, and just gets boosted up with Berserk.
Oh man, I love Eerie Impulse. It's funny you mentioned that. That -2 is just so good. And I was even saving last night. I might sound like a bum, but it just gets so hard sometimes. You get so greedy, like I'm gonna just negate this guy. I'm gonna make a -6. I mean, it's just when you come to that point where like, okay, should I go for the second one? Or should I push a more offensive, maybe get a Volt Switch and set up? Or do I really need that next -4 to really put me in a better spot?
Yeah, exactly. And I think somebody in the chat mentioned that I was using Landorus like Incineroar, and I guess that's kind of the idea too, is just to whittle down the opponent gradually, maybe stall out their Dynamax, and then just set up Moltres or Glacier in a position to sweep through.
Yeah, I think I've heard someone say like you should. I, mean, I don't know if it was a chat I was reading or someone was reading something like there. You shouldn't be using Landorus as an Incineroar. I mean, it looks like it works pretty well in this case.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
paired
for
with
sure.
his Eerie Impulse, it makes a whole lot of sense. I personally am using Raichu Moltres also,
Hmm.
and I've opted for the Reflect on my Raichu, just for that very reason. I don't have Intimidate on my team, but I can definitely see how that pairing of the Intimidate cycling plus the Eerie Impulse can really put a whole lot of pressure on teams to not be able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I agree. And screens is actually something I thought about too. I feel like Reflect would be pretty good. And something that I've tested in the Raichu slot is actually Regieleki for the same reason, because it has access to
Ah,
fast Electro Web. It's right here. I have it. Reflect and then Light Screen. So it supports it really well too. But ultimately, I think Lightning Round's too good. But
yeah, yeah.
maybe screens is something I'll have to try.
Yeah, the Regielekti's supposed to be kind of dominant too, but we haven't. I think I seen it. Our PZ user on a couple tournaments ago, he had it a Regielekti, but since then, man, yeah, I haven't seen many today. But yeah, I was looking at that move, see with the Thunder Cage and just the. I mean, it's the fastest thing in the game now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh man, and
I
then to
mean,
be
you
able
don't
to,
even really need any speed investment except for maybe like, I think it's somewhere around 28 EVs to outspeed plus nature for Emosa, and after that, you're good to go.
and then who can forget about the Magnet Rise, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just crazy too. Pulling that out first turn and just like, what's up? Here we go.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It
Hey,
was
you bet, man.
fun, and thanks for hosting the tournament as well.
Hey,
I'm sure
man.
everybody had a great time.
Are you playing in Players Cup too?
Unfortunately, I was busy during the qualifier weekend, so I won't be
Oh,
playing. But next
well.
major, I'm definitely going to be playing.
Oh, me too, man. We're going at it. But there's the Victory Road one this weekend too. If you're not busy, that's kind of another big one going on for the guys that
Sounds good. Yeah,
aren't playing
I
Players
might be
Cup.
playing in. I'll probably be playing in that one
That one's a
if I
really
don't have
big one.
tournaments going on.
Get in that, man. You're ready for it. So thanks for
Sounds
coming
good.
on with us, man. Good luck. Good luck on your future matches, and hope to see more of you, man. You
Hey, thanks for
look
having
pretty
me
good.
on.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
Have a good one. I'll see you guys.
See you, man.
Yeah, great job, Cortex. Thanks.